following the tragic, untimely death of the Right Honourable Anne Widdecombe DSG in such distressingly horrific circumstances, as a mark of respect, if there is a constitutional way possible, we call for the Clacton by-election to be postponed.
Nigel.cecil, calling things out as you like it, especially for his fair-minded friends.
Hello, Chakabatis, welcome. Thank you for joining my very good friend Hilary, invariably on hand, to assist me, Nigel Cecil, with the research and presentation of these videos. Our last video, at your request, because some of our regular viewers know to get in touch via our usual email address, was asking the question on your behalf: have politicians, members of Parliament, inadvertently been led down a path where they've become social media luddites? This morning's newspapers you've now brought to our attention were dominated by the tragic events of the murder of Anne Widdecombe. Social media is nothing more than what we used to do in the pub, how we chatted on the telephone. It's just social media chit-chat. Now, the government have brought in all sorts of things about hate crimes, don't say this, don't say the other. But is it primarily being driven by the fact they don't know what to do about social media? Social media is an inconvenience because it forces those in power to answer questions. And it's easier to avoid answering questions. I mean, when you look at the headlines, what are we supposed to do? Our very nature we're living is to be curious. They might say curiosity killed the cat, but that doesn't stop us being curious at all. We look, we speak to each other, we chat, and of course it's amplified on social media, but it's still going on. Now, in America, free speech, well, it's way up there in the Constitution. But in the United Kingdom, is it not now becoming the case that everyone, all the different organisations, are so paranoid about being asked awkward questions or having to say things which might be misinterpreted that they actually end up saying very little, which then causes us to become curious? Speculation. Speculation, helpful speculation. What is the difference? It's all speculation. So is there now a danger that there's going to be more control of social media because the movers and shakers in charge haven't really got to grips with how they deal with it, to ensure that in a democracy, our rights to freedom of expression are not compromised? Of course, there's always going to be some activists who want to do the worst with whatever facilities they are giving. Social media is clearly a facility, but not a reason within a democracy to close down our ability to have free speech. So, are the movers and shakers now driving the agenda on our behalf, being hoodwinked almost, some would say by the blob, to bring in control on how we can communicate with each other, when realistically America copes with it well? So shouldn't the United Kingdom to be able to cope with it well? With those who say, well, America isn't coping. And of course, we've got this little quote again.
You know, it's complicated, but not really complicated when you get right down to it, right?
It's complicated, but when you get right down to it, it's not really complicated. Free speech in America is protected as part of their constitution. But within the United Kingdom, is there now because, well, the movers and shakers haven't moved fast enough to understand what social media is all about, that they're being driven by almost a controlling influence to be social media luddites. Shut us down. Surely, if that's the case, we need to defend our rights to free speech, and protecting our rights under social media is part of that objective. As always, this video meant in the best possible taste. Do let us know what you think by getting in touch by our usual email address. Thank you, and please join us again for the next video that's triggered by what you bring to our attention. Bye for now.